Yo, que lo que, Knicks fans. Welcome to episode 9 of Knicks Fans Wilding. I'm here as always, your boy Triple M in the building. You now joined with my guy Don Juan. Tell the people it was really good.
Yo, what's going on, Knicks fans? Welcome to Knicks FansWilding Podcast. Yes, Knicks FansWilding Podcast. It's the off season, but we still here, letting y'all know and giving you that real stuff. But of course, we're here with Off the Ball Network just to make sure you guys follow my guys out there. Them guys is always bringing some fire content.
For sure.
But what's going on? What's going on, Mario? I almost called you Don Mario for a second. Getting that name to everybody now.
Hey, Triple Juan, man. We can switch it up if you like it. But yeah, Triple Juan, man, we here with my boy right here. Is such a great follow. If you're not following him on Twitter, you got the little on the bottom. You got to follow my guy right here. Such a great follow. Always chopping it up with my man, Alex T. Tell the people it's really good.
What's good, Mary? I'm just chilling over here, sad that the Knicks season is over, but, I'm enjoying the playoffs still. Watching the Atlanta Hawks is kind of giving me that little validation that we just ran into a buzzsaw at the wrong time. We got cold at the wrong time. Everything just collided at the worst possible time. But I'm chilling, man. Just enjoying life, man. Enjoying basketball. How are you guys doing?
Man, I've just been watching all the mayhem, the NBA drama that it is. Mayhem all around, and I'm just drinking, man, because my team is looking good. My coach is not getting fired because he just won most improved. I got the most improved player on my squad, so I'm feeling good. I'm just watching. I'm like you said, Alex. I'm just enjoying life, sipping my water right here.
Yeah, it was a fun-filled. Well, depending on what side you sat of the spectrum, it was definitely real informative, real busy week in the NBA, I shall say. I mean, from coaches getting fired to, rumors of players not wanting to be on the team to even, players just having some beef within themselves in the locker room. So it's and then on top of all the Knicks connections left and right, we probably can name a player each day since the Knicks lost that we have been connected. So it's been a real, and the offseason hasn't started, but it's been real interesting to say the least.
That's for sure. I'll just say this. The truth will come out as a certain former player of the New York Knicks down in Dallas. That team is just imploding. I'm enjoying every minute of it. It's great. I can't. Look, for once, we are not the worst team. For once, we are not the team that's watching our president of basketball operations, our GM, our head coach, star player in the news. Now we get to be on the other side of the aisle, just laughing at what's even the best part is at the fan base and the team that was mocking us for being on the wrong side of that trade. So it's just great watching a ticking time bomb going off. So the truth is coming out. Just saying.
Finally, man. That just feels so good. I haven't felt like this in a while, bro. It's been a while. But yeah, let's get right into it. You feel me? We here with my guy Alex. Like I said, you could follow him at Tradcaster101. How you say that exactly, eh?
Tratacaster 101.
Tratacaster. Yep. You got to follow that Next Jets ETC. That'd be having some fire. You had the Dipsets there the other day. That was a fire episode. You got to check that out. Bro. With my man Jay Mika. I need a formal introduction from you, Alex. I saw him at the game one time. I gave him a pound, but it was kind of fast. So I need a formal introduction from you. So let's get right into it. I want to start with the article you wrote for Knicks Fan TV. Shout out to them. My guy CP and all the gang working out there. And I'm going to read you a quick snippet. If you haven't read it, I gave you Alex all information. You can find it there. Alex said, teams that push their chips in for instant gratification have bad team payroll, little draft capital, and poorly constructed rosters for a minimum of 3 years. And their top tier talented leaves for another destination. Expect this scenario to happen to the Clippers and the Nets. Woo-hoo-hoo. I love that shade there, Alex. So I want to start by asking you this, man.
Sure.
The article was I kind of got the vibes. I don't know. You could tell me if I'm wrong. That you kind of want to just chill, develop our talent. There's a lot of rumors swirling out there. Did this season, being the 4th seed, 41-31, did this season just elevate you? Because let me be honest, this season was not supposed to happen. This was supposed to be another year in the rebuilding phase, and it just accelerated it with the outstanding season by Julius Randle this season. So, are you elevating expectations, Alex?
Yeah, I have elevated my expectations for what we should get the following season. We were supposed to be in a rebuild. Rebuild usually takes about 2 to 3 years, as we've seen. We can look at the Brooklyn Nets, we can look at the LA Clippers, how they went through it, right? Whether it was D'Angelo Russell and his squad over there, when Theo Piston was over there as well, which, they took about 2-3 years before they were really on the map. They entered in the playoffs, right? Played the Philadelphia 76ers, got one. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 games, but they made a little noise, and then they just blew it up to get KD, Kevin Durant, which understandable, right? You want to go out and get the best players and go make that run for a championship team. But when you look at the roster construction, when you look at the guys that they had to give up down the road to even get James Harden now, right? You get rid of Karis LeVert. You get rid of all these guys. So they imploded it. That's where I was going with that article, and you see how quick it could just change. With the Knicks, my expectations have elevated. Yes, I'm expecting them to make the playoffs again. However, I'm not expecting like another major leap that we just saw this season. Okay, I'm not that far-fetched in what I want from the team and what the expectations are and what the realistic expectations are. I'm expecting somewhere around the same tier, whether it's 40. What's comparable to what an 82-game season if they play next season. So instead of 41 wins, maybe you get 48, 49. You're so close to that 500. If you can get 50, that honestly, that's taking another step in my eye because you're playing an 82-game season. But if you can get somewhere up with the high 40 range, still be in the middle tier of the playoffs, win a couple more games, add some solid pieces, maybe get some more draft capital or just draft well, that's what I'm looking for this team to move forward just for the next season. Because in my eyes, I don't see that we have enough. We have a solid amount of assets to move for a player, like just to get a player, but I don't think we have enough assets yet to get a player like Damian Lillard or someone that's been rumored to the Knicks, unless we're getting a major discount.
Yeah. I just don't see that either, like you said. How about you, Don Juan? Have you elevated your expectations after this great season?
Wow. I actually have not elevated my expectations, but not because I don't think the team is going to get better in terms of like the talent level. I expect Randle to come stronger. I expect, Quickly to have a great year, RJ to have a great year. Just the young core that we have to develop and just turn it up next year. The only thing is that what I do feel like is that, there's not really much out there in free agency to take us to that next level, to take us to the Eastern Conference Finals, should I say, because the Brooklyn team, they're still going to be there next year. The Sixers, they've kind of imploded in front of our eyes, but I still expect them to be there. Celtics, they had a down season. I expect them to be up there. And Atlanta, they've been a surprise of the playoffs. I expect them to be up there too. So it's a lot of teams that are capable of just make a couple changes and be right up there. And you still got the Hornets and the Pacers who maybe are missing a piece too. So they'll be out in the market trying to sign somebody. I mean, I'm not sure it's too much of the Hornets because they went all out last summer, but a team like Chicago who needs a point guard, they're going to be also in the running for a point guard as well as us. So, they might be the team that might try to outbid us in a sense for one of these players, whether it's, the Conleys, the Lowry. I mean, even though that's not the player I would want, but they could help us in a sense be a bridge for the next free agency class where we could really make a splash. But in terms of elevating, I mean, I think we actually might regress a bit, but it really all depends what we get. But I'm not thinking that we're gonna repeat and be a 4th seed. I think we might be, more in the bottom, man, maybe 6th, 7th.
Whoa, Don Juan is talking spicy right now, man. That 6th or 7th? You want me to go back to 6th or 7th after we just finished 4th? Come on, Don Juan. Don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me, bro. Yeah, I mean, this season was wonderful, and I just can't help it but to elevate my expectations. I mean, what can you do? Because you just see that this roster, I was telling Alex before we got on the show, the first round really showed us our flaws and what we need this offseason. And yeah, we might not be able to get the players we want, but with the amount of cap space we have and just quickly taking another step in year 2, I'm RJ year 3, I mean, players become. I don't want to put this label on RJ just yet, but players become all-stars in their 3rd season. So I'm definitely elevating my expectations, even though if Randall regresses a little bit, I feel like the other guys could pick up their slacks, man, for real. That's me.
I agree with that. I mean, and I think with expectations, right? I mean, sure, there could be a regression. Shout out to my guy Schwinny Poo, who wrote that article about regression, expecting that next season.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we might not be the 4th seed, right? I don't think we'll drop as far as 7. I think we'll be in the middle of the pack still. But even still, sure, Julius Randle doesn't shoot 41%. I think his shot's real enough that it could be 38%. But as Mario said, you know, if you think that RJ is going to take another leap, quickly could take another leap, you know, you have chaos all around the NBA right now, but our guys are still in the gym working out. So that's a good thing. You know, they're putting in the work. They're going to take time. They built the foundation, which I think we have to acknowledge, right? They built the foundation of just accountability, competence, like playing hard every single night. I don't think that's going to go. I don't see a Tom Thibodeau-led team going in that direction. I don't think these guys – I think we just got like straight hoopers on this team, honestly. So I don't see them like going to let up for a little bit. But I could see like a little slip. But I think as Mario said, like I think other guys are going to be taking that step up. You know, how much? That's another story. I don't know if we're going to see another – because RJ took a major leap, right? 3-point shooting went from 32% up to like 38 and was shooting 40% for a part of the season and higher. Like if he could do that, I got faith that he could take another jump.
Hey, my man, the trainer, what's his name? Hanley? RJ's trainer.
Yep.
He's been talking spicy. That he's going to improve that shot. So let's see. But that leads me perfect to my next question that I really want to get your answer, Alex. I wouldn't want to say dream, all right? I don't want to say it's a dream scenario. But what would be a realistic free agency route that you want to see for the Knicks this season? Like, you know, we know the point guards that are out there. We got the Lowrys, the Conleys, the Lonzos, you know, and our wings. We know the wings that are out there, the DeRozans, the Kelly Oubre. What would be a realistic, I would say, scenario that you want to see the Knicks go?
Lonzo Ball would honestly be the direction I want to see. Like, I want to see Lonzo Ball. I know our guy CK2K's been preaching Zoda New York, and it's got that banner outside his house probably.
He got it on his show. He got it on his stream now.
For sure. I mean, I like the idea of Lonzo. I think we need a guy who can push the ball in transition. I don't think we're going to be paying him over $20 million annually. And even so, for a guy like him, for the age of 23, someone who's shown that he can develop in the areas of his weaknesses, like his 3-point shooting and his jump shot. If your concern is that he can't drive to the basket, I mean, I would just point you to the first season with the Lakers, who was averaging 7 drives per game when he was a Laker. Yeah, it's gone down as he's gone in New Orleans. Yeah, it went down when LeBron came to the team. But once again, look who the guys that he's now playing around. We're talking about LeBron, Brandon Ingram, were the guys that were attacking the lane. You now down in New Orleans, you have Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram still. You have other guys who are doing that, who are putting pressure on the rack. So I think he could still develop in that area. I would like the Knicks to go in that direction because we need someone to push in transition who can actually facilitate and who could shoot. Like he does all those things. Is he like the best knockdown shooter to come around the screen and knock it down? No. But if he's wide open in the corner, give it to me. Like I want someone who can do that because we saw what happened this past season and previous seasons if you don't have point guard play. Like we just need someone who can help facilitate and be a playmaker and just take that pressure off of Randall.
Yeah, for sure. So let me swing this question. Let's say it's 5 years, $105 million. Because, you know, New Orleans is going to match it. He's a restricted free agent. A lot of people tend to forget. He's a restricted free agent. So New Orleans is going to match any offer under 20, I would say. 15 or 20, they're going to match, I believe, especially with all the turmoil going on there. They don't want to give a player away for free. So I would think 5 years, $105 million. Are you taking that for Zoe to New York? Tell me right now, Alex.
105? No, I'm not doing 105 because we're talking more than annually, over 20 annually. I don't think he's worth more. I think if you'll get like a Fred VanVleet, I think that's the comp I would go with. And Fred VanVleet's not a good player in transition either. But well, not I should say transition, but attacking the lane and putting a lot of pressure. He's not really good finishing around the rim, but people liked him last year. He earns around 80-some million for over 4 years with that team. I think that's a price range for Zoe. You know, if he comes through free agency, Knicks will only be able to offer him 4 years to begin with. I mean, if he's doing 5 years, we're doing a sign and trade with New Orleans, but I think New Orleans would rather deal him than lose him in my eye, because if everything's just about to implode, why keep him around, you know? And you hear that I think there was some I forget who reported, but I think there is some interest within New York. I know Chicago has interest. I'm just also not – the thing with New Orleans is that they're not a team that's going to spend money. They're not the team that's really about to burst the bank for everybody. And I think they're trying to be wise with if they're trying to keep Zion, you can't pay Lonzo like the same anywhere close if you're going to try to max out Zion if you want to keep him there. And they already paid Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the point I was going to say.
That's the question.
What about Juan? What you think? Zoe to New York, realistic?
I actually like Zoe too, man. He just fits the bill. He's someone that if you clearly need to upgrade at point guard. I mean, that's the guy that's available that fits our timeline. I mean, Alex, you mentioned he's 23 years old. He's 6'6", could guard multiple positions. This is today's NBA game. You need guys that could switch and could, you know, maybe even put a little damp on my guy Trae Young blowing up on us. You know, we need somebody like that can put his hands up and be a force on the defensive side. Whether, you know, I know Mario probably might mention this later on about Zoe, but you know, he had a couple miscues on defense when we played the Pelicans, and you know, he got exposed a bit. But I still think that's just one play. You know, it's one sample size. That realistically, he's always been known for his defense, and I think with a defensive-minded coach like Tibbs, he'll mold them and put them right. Whatever defensive cues he was missing out on, he won't miss out on this time around. But like I said, he's a young guy, 23 years old. The market for him, I mean, I was looking at similar contract deals of players that were either his age or in the same projection. Malcolm Brogdon is someone that I looked at. You mentioned Van Vliet. Those guys were guys that signed the same deal, 4 years, $85 million. So if that's pretty much the range, I mean, I would do somewhere maybe 21, and that's pretty much 21.5, 21. Like we're gonna have to give up something, especially this free agency. If you want a guy, we're gonna have to give him bread. And you know, we look at Mike Conley, Kyle Lowry. If those are gonna be the other guys that are gonna be available, they're gonna want to get overpaid too. If not, they're gonna settle for a vet min or a mid-level exception for a championship contending team. You know, these are the options that the routes that we have to really decide during this offseason, is that we definitely gonna have to pay for somebody, especially if it's a 1-year deal. I mean, I wouldn't mind a 1-year deal overpaying for, let's say, like a Norman Powell or who else? Well, let's say Norman Powell, for instance. He's a guy that, you know, the similar contract that I was comparing to is like a KCP, where the Lakers gave him a 1-year deal, $17 million. Or another one is JJ Redick when he signed with the Sixers. He signed for 23. It was a 1-year deal as well. But these are guys that signed up for a process, but they had to get paid for it. And right now the Knicks are, you know, realistically, they're in a process. We overpay those guys for at least 1 year, maybe offer a second year with a team option, just to get a leverage a bit on those contracts. But you know, these are the type of deals that we're gonna realistically have to give up, unless we're just gonna bring the gang back, Sam Bullock.
Oh, no. Please no. I'm good on that.
I say pay.
Paint. Whoa, Don Juan, you're about to get off the stream, bro.
Oh my goodness.
But you know, I think realistically, man, I think I'm gonna have to let y'all know a little secret, man. I think I'm a Ball hater, bro. I did not want LaMelo Ball, and I don't want Lonzo Ball. Like Juan mentioned, that game against New York, just watching that one game, gave up the wide open 3 to Reggie Bullock, helped on D-Rose for no reason. Just little IQ plays like that, man. My dream scenario, not dream, but what I would like to do is I would definitely bring in Kyle Lowry on like a 2-year, $50 million contract, draft a point guard, and bring back D Rose and kind of have mold a point guard. We haven't had a good point guard in how many years? I don't remember the last time we had a good point guard at all. Maybe it was Raymond Felton. That's embarrassing to say. Raymond Felton was the best point guard of the decade, and I might not be lying for that. So what I want to see, I want us to bring in a young point guard from the draft, hopefully. We got to deep dive into that and see what happens there. If we could trade up or somebody might slip. Bring in a person like Kyle Lowry, and I wouldn't even mind overpaying someone like Norman Powell. We need shooting. We definitely need shooting on this team. Kind of space out the floor. Because like Alex mentioned earlier, RJ took a big step. Is he going to continuously take that big step, or is he going to regress? We need to be prepared for everything. If a couple players have a couple of regression, because everybody has such an amazing year, we have to just pick up the pieces. So my dream scenario would definitely be a Kyle Lowry, 2 years, $50 million. Bring me a Norman Powell at the wing, because we definitely need to upgrade on that three. I definitely don't want to bring back both Bullock or Burks. Just bring me one. I just need one of them. And yeah, that's what I want to see. You two guys on the ball, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see next year. I mean, next month. Next month is coming up pretty soon, guys.
It's coming up. Yeah, it's coming up really quick, and I actually don't mind those as like second options. Like Norman Powell, I do like Norman Powell. Gary Trent Jr. would be like the guy I'd really like to get. I doubt that he's leaving Toronto after they just traded for him. Highly doubt that he's leaving. But Kyle Lowry, I would probably go a little bit younger if we're going into the older veteran point guard. I'll take Mike Conley.
Come on, Alex. He's just missing games in the playoffs.
I know he's missing games in the playoffs, but come on, how many times has he missed games in the past? I mean, Kyle Lowry, we're talking about 36. At some point, he's going to take a decline. That's my thing with Kyle Lowry. At some point, he's going to take a decline. I like the idea. I'm not like fully against it as like as an alternative. I'm not fully against it. 2 years, of course. Like if it's 2 years, say that with Mike Conley, 2 years, you're not going to do anything else. I'll go with the little younger side on Mike Conley. Yeah, he's missing games right now. How often does he miss games? He had the one bad year. He bounced back. Mike Conley's usually he's attended most of his playoff games. I don't think he's missed a playoff game, honestly, especially with the grit and grind Grizzlies. So, and he's a good leader. Same thing, plays defense, high motor type of guy, good character type of guy. Nothing against Kyle Lowry. If Kyle Lowry was like 2 more years younger, I'd go with Kyle Lowry, honestly. But at some point, he's 36. I can't see 2 years and get the 38-year-old point guard. I saw Jared Jack. I'm not saying it's Jared Jack, but I saw Jared Jack. I mean, I don't need this situation again. Please, let's go a little bit younger.
You said Jared Jack, and I just got a migraine right now.
Forgot about that one.
Migraine. Oh my gosh.
How many point guards? You could probably make a lifelong list of just point guards that have come in and out. Have been on the rotation that started at that too.
Man, but let's stick to the point guard right here. Let's stick to the point guard, and let's talk about a point guard that's currently on our roster for next year, Luca Verdoza. How do you see any scenario where you see him just starting? I've been seeing a lot of people throwing his name around. Is Luca Vildoza the real deal? What you think about that, Don Juan?
Man, I don't know. I've been a little bit skeptical. Yes, initially I'm like, he's a great project, but at the same time, I still haven't seen much film. I saw some highlights here and there, but they always make those look nice. And I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what we're getting yet. And based off of what we need, we really need a starting point guard. I just don't want to, implement somebody that's just playing overseas right into the NBA without really knowing the speed and whatnot. I think the transition, we've seen Luca, ironically have the same name, but we've seen Luca Doncic kind of, seamlessly adjust to the NBA, but that's not everybody. So I'm not really high on the kid just yet, but hey, there's a summer league that he might end up playing, try to prove himself, and he got some competition, whether it's quickly, whether it's the rookie that we bring in that's probably going to be a ball handler, but that I would want to go the route where, like we said earlier, where it's either Zoe, I even take Conley or Lowry before I even decide on Luca. If Luca's is the guy starting, that means you completely whiffed during the offseason, and that's the last thing I want.
Yeah, for real. What you think, Alex?
I am optimistic about Luca. As Don Juan said, like we're talking about. There's not much film that I could find on him. I don't have those. Like I did the normal like YouTube look at clips. The best thing I can get from seeing the game film, because I write for Hoops Habit, cover the Nuggets as well as the Knicks. I got to watch some Facu Campazzo, and I like his game. I like Facu's game, and if anything, I'd say Luca's game. Is closer to Facu, the way he plays, high motor, plays defense. The best thing about Luca better than Facu is that he's a better offensive scorer, is taller, so he can guard more positions. But high IQ type of player, always looking to make the extra pass. I like that about him from the little that I saw. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on this guy. I know everything about him. But I'm optimistic at what he can contribute to this team. But I would put him as what Facu is, which is a second point, like your second point guard, third point guard coming off the bench. I'm not highly invested having him start unless he just wows everyone in practice. If he's starting, it's what Don Juan said. Either we whiffed or he's just doing amazing things in practice that I'm just ready to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to our boy Emmanuel Quickly getting the second team. But Quickly has such a great rookie season, and he still only got off the pond 19 minutes per game. I just do not see Tom Thibodeau starting a point guard. I mean, Alex, you into the numbers. I'm going to need you to find this information for me. What was the last time Tibbs had a rookie play over 25 minutes a game? I mean, I'm inclined to say D Rose, probably. Was he around with? He was.
No, he was. I don't think he wasn't there for D Rose's rookie.
He wasn't there for D Rose.
He usually doesn't play rookies like that. I mean, honestly, I don't know the numbers. I'd have to do some research, but I would guess that Manuel Quickly got probably the most we've ever seen from a rookie under Tom Thibodeau.
For real, I mean, he doesn't like young guys. He doesn't like young guys. He seen Zach LaVine. He took him right out of there. Got Jimmy Butler when he was in Minnesota. I just do not see Luca. But even if he's doing some amazing thing in practices, you're still going to see 10 minutes per game. That's all. That's the Thibodeau way.
You're probably right. Honestly, we're probably going to get 10 minutes when D Rose needs a breather in, whoever the point guard is. If it is Lowry, Lowry's probably getting that breather in. The 10 minutes we're getting is Vildoza coming in.
And it doesn't help. He's not that he's also good. He's also tall enough that he could play the two as well. So we'll see what he could bring. I'm glad you mentioned that he's more offensively. Well, he's better offensively than Campazzo, because it seems like Campazzo is afraid to shoot at times, and I don't want that. That's the last thing we want in the Knicks. But hell of a passer.
I mean, for Campazzo, to be fair, when you're an undersized point guard, because I don't think he's over even 6 feet tall, I'm not taking a lot of shots either. I'm not Nate Robinson out here breaking. He's not Nate Robinson out here breaking ankles. He's he's quick, trying to make the pass, push the pace.
Yeah, man. Wow. You
can't deny that.
I can't wait to the offseason, man. Every day the Knicks are mentioning a new rumor. There's a new rumor swirling around where there's Lillard, Oubre, John Wall. I saw. Oh my God. Alex, are you taking any of these rumors seriously, or is there anyone that caught your eyes? CP3's name's been mentioned out there. It's been a mess right now. People just passing time.
Kawhi Leonard.
I'm not taking any of those seriously. I don't think we're there yet where we're going to get any of those guys right. I like what the Knicks are doing. I think we're going to get guys, they're looking at us, right? I think they're looking at us. They're like, let's wait another year before we make that type of leap. And then if we do well again next season, or if we're in the same range, then I could see, okay, a free agent wanting to come through to the Knicks. But as of right now, I'm not taking like Dame Lillard, like a trade for Dame Lillard. I love Dame. Then we're just doing something close to the Carmelo Anthony trade all over again. We're just emptying the cupboard. And then who's he running with? That's my question. Who's he running with? We even did that type of trade.
Thibodeau. Running with Thibodeau right there.
Might as well, man. But
yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Kawhi, ACL, I don't think he's gonna give up money. He's probably gonna opt in for another year to get the money.
He's from the West Coast. He's from out there.
Yeah, and he's from out there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to leave. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. But tearing your ACL, being from the West Coast, uncertainty for another year, I would just lock in and test the waters. And then what was the other name that you mentioned?
Oubre,
John Wall.
Oubre, oh my God, Oubre, I'm okay with. I'm not toy against Oubre. I know he could be a Chuck, but I'm okay with it. John Wall, I kind of have an issue with. John Wall, I kind of have an issue with. And if there's Russell Westbrook talks, please just stop it right now. I'm not doing it. Don't even bring his name into me. Awesome player. Loved him when he was on OKC. He's up there in like the top 20 point guards probably to ever play this game. Don't want him. Those are my feelings.
For sure, man. Keep those guys away. I'm one rumor away from blocking Evan Mobley or whatever his name is, man.
Yeah.
What you thinking of these rumors, Don Juan? You biting on any of them?
Nah, not even. It's with the Knicks. You always hear this. You always hear these type of things around this time of year. I mean, the big summer, where we had a chance, or that KD and Kyrie were coming to New York. I definitely fell for that one, and I can't. I should have learned my lesson when LeBron was a free agent in that offseason, where everybody was saying that it's either Chicago or New York. It's either Chicago or New York, and Miami came in and got all of them. But I'm taking this with a grain of salt. I mean, it is what it is. They're, like you said, Alex, players are watching. Damian Lillard is people connecting dots. Damian Lillard is their coaches got fired. Things are heating up. A lot of people in the front office or players in the hot seat. So people connecting dots. Probably, I've seen pictures of Luca now being, talking about Knicks and Luca, because of how things are going in Dallas. So it is what it is. It's part of the NBA offseason chatter. And unfortunately for the Knicks, we didn't go too deep in the playoffs. It started a little early for us, and here it goes. It's part of the summer, and you need to fend it off. But I know a couple friends that they're going crazy on this Russell Westbrook news. They would love to get Westbrook, and yeah, Westbrook is cool and all, but man, give me D Rose. I stay with D Rose, and older, an actual, guy that makes smart plays and whatnot, and he's making the right plays, but also teaching these young guys. Not that Westbrook doesn't do that, but I'm getting it at a vet minimum as opposed to $40 million a year too. So those are the things we got to consider. And John Wall is pretty much the same thing as Westbrook. These are guys that they're already in the back end of their careers. I'm not really trying to invest in somebody like that at this point.
Yeah,
especially when we're trying to stay younger and have the flexibility.
Some of these names you guys mentioned are giving me a headache, man. I just got to moving forward. I'm not paying no mind. I mean, it's just all people try to clickbait. You got to pay the bills. You got to get them clicks up. And once you mentioned the Knicks, we all clicked. Let me check it out. Even if you read the first sentence, you're like, all right, I'm just not reading it. It's just about click and view. But Alex, man, you've been such a fun guy. I've been having mad fun. I'm sure Don Juan feels the same way. I want to go a little rapid questions for you just before we wrap this up, man. I saw that you don't live in New York. You out there. I saw when we went to Boston, you was out there at the game with the wife, man. Shout out to the wife, Alex's wife, and stuff like that. So I want to ask you, when and how did you become a Knicks fan?
Oh, I'm from New York. Actually, right now I'm in New York. I'm from White Plains in New York. I'm from the 914, born and raised for 25 years. I went to law school out in Boston, became an attorney, got my first legal job out there, which I'm still at today. So that's why I'm out in Boston. Also, that's where I met my fiance. So shout out to her as well.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So yeah, that's why I'm out in Boston. And so every time I'm wearing the Knicks gear, the Jets gear, or anything else, people look at me funny, but I'm looking at them funny too.
Standoff. Boston. I gotta definitely get out there for the Boston game this year. Definitely
hit me up, man. We'll go to a game together.
For sure. I want to ask you now, what has been your most memorable Knicks game?
Memorable Knicks game. It's a good question. It's gotta be with the Melo years, man. Honestly, it's gotta be with the Melo years. Probably that the turnaround baseline fadeaway jumper against the Chicago Bulls is like my favorite buzzer beater that I got to see from Melo. I love that game because we won. It was just like we were down, we came back. I think that was MLK Day too, and so I just loved that's probably my most favorite one. Out of all, yeah. Also, when I was a kid, I'll give this one too. The LJ 4-point play. Because I just remember just being with my pops and just like being so ecstatic that he just hits a buzzer beater. Oh my God, that was a great one. That's another great one.
Me and Don Juan, we actually went to school in the Bronx, Cardinal Hayes, and we used to always after school just take the train downtown. And we was actually in the building for the David Lee tipping.
Oh, nice.
We used to go outside, buy the tickets from the guys outside. One guy stand outside, the other go. And if the ticket goes in, we all go in. So it was pretty cool, man. I feel like that was my favorite game. That David.
That's awesome
for sure.
Yeah, that's probably my most memorable game too. I mean, that was my first Knicks game, so that was a nice introduction to the Knicks fandom. But
okay.
Yeah, and those weren't even, those weren't the glory days either. I'm not gonna lie. So that was one of the highlights of, if anything, of the season.
Sheesh, for sure, man. Here we go. Last question from my main guy, Alex. What has been the most heartbreaking loss? We know there's been a lot of them. And how did you react after that loss?
Man, we're really doing this. Oh, my God. There's too many. I'd probably have to go back to Melo because I really had – I have friends who are Heat fans, so I was just talking mad-ish that season, just like, oh, we got you, 3-1. Oh, give me you guys in the playoffs. I don't care, Braun, Wade, no. We're going at this. When Roy Hibbert just pulls out the block, I just hate it. He blocked Mel. I just hate everything about Roy Hibbert because after that he lost all of his powers, goes to LA, can't do anything else. It is so infuriating the fact that we gave Roy Hibbert the one night to feel like he's like Hakeem Olajuwon, and instead it's just like, come on, bro, what are we doing here?
I think that might be everybody's heartbreaking loss because I was actually working on 42nd Street BBQs and they didn't like playing the games there. And I was working because I was going to try to get to that next game. So I was like, I got to work tonight because I know we're going to win, And then it was the fourth quarter, so I went across the street to Modell's. They had the big screen TV, so I was watching outside, and it was raining. And I remember people calling me like, yo, Mary, where you at? Getting busy. It's getting busy. And I'm like watching the game, and when I saw that Roy Hibbert block, and it just went downhill from there. Crushing. Man, I just had to leave work. I mean, I didn't finish the shift. I think I got fired after that. So tough, man. And I easily the most heartbreaking loss for me as a Knicks fan, man.
Yeah, I would agree. That's actually my heartbreaking loss, and because of the way and fashion that they lost to them. I mean, second seed in the league, like the build up to it, all the paces, whatever. We looking forward is facing the Heat. We look past the paces, we facing the Heat. That's all we're thinking about. I mean, especially me, because like you said, we beat them in the season series. So and we matched up perfectly with them. So all I thought was, man, this is the year that we're gonna beat the Heat, go to the chip, you name it, man. I had so much expectations. And then to get beat by the Pacers, who, that was Paul George's up. Like, that's when Paul George was kind of making a name for himself. They had Lance Stevenson as well. Lance Stevenson with a crucial steal that leads to a fast break and one layup or dunk. I'm not sure what it was. I didn't want to remember, but it was that moment that I'm like, oh shit, this is getting bad. And my girl's over here telling me like, yeah, the Knicks are gonna lose, right?
Man, that's the worst.
Flipped. I'm like, are you kidding me? You gonna jinx it right here? Come on now. I'm the biggest I'm the biggest superstitious person ever, especially when
I'm right there with you.
And man, I make sure I place my cup this way when I'm watching the games. Little things like that. And she's over here like, oh, the game's over. It's only the third quarter. What do you mean the game's over?
Yeah, man, that was just such a bad series, man. But yo, it's been such a great episode. Let's not finish it like that on such a sad note, man.
It went down a little bit.
Knicks fans, wilding you here. We got a bright future ahead of us. Yes, Alex made some great points. Check out that article, man. Alex, what you guys say before we get up out of here?
Appreciate you guys having me on. Mario, Juan, it's awesome again to meet you guys and talk to you guys, talk Knicks. Awesome. Got to do this again. We'll have you guys on our pod, have you guys on, talk more Knicks. It's been a lot of fun, guys. I really appreciate you guys having me on. And, check out that recent article over at KnicksFanTV.com. Check out the podcast, Knicks Jets, etc. on all streaming platforms. You can also follow me at Hoops Habit, part of the Fanside Network over there. Write about the Knicks, cover some NBA topics as well. And, that's where you can find all my work.
Yeah, man. Just as my man Alex be putting in the work, attorney too, man. If you need something too, just holler at my guy Alex. Yeah, man. But you already know what time it is here at Knicks Fans Wilding. Always love. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure, like we mentioned earlier, follow the people at Off the Ball Network. And we out of here, Don Juan and Alex, my guys. Thanks for checking out the episode.
Yeah, Alex, thanks for joining us.